What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Jericho Report Weekly News Briefing. This will be for Sunday, the 27th of September, 2020. September gone already. Here comes October, here comes November, here comes the madness. Looks like we're going to have a new Supreme Court Justice, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi making noise about that. Anyway, the first link below will take you over to the Patreon post. That's where you can find all of this week's news, and we got a packed week. Let's get into it. Has Sweden beaten the coronavirus? Expert claims refusing to shut down has led Swedes now have herd immunity. DailyMail.com. Meanwhile, back in the United States, top epidemiologist warns America could be headed for an apocalyptic COVID-19 fall. We're all going to die in the fall. Second AstraZeneca volunteer reportedly suffers neurological condition, but not related to the vaccine. Yeah, right? That from RT. Joe Biden seems to think 200 million people will die.
It's estimated that 200 million people have died, probably by the time I finish this talk.
Damn, Joe, that's a lot of people. I'll put a link to that video. Big fat shots in the ass. Trump again suggests Biden is on energizing drugs. That from RT. Trump says he will ink an executive order to stop Biden from running. And see, things are going to get very interesting here very shortly. I'll put a link to that. Nazi Pelosi says we can impeach Trump every day of the week if he does anything, whatever. Breitbart, go ahead. Donald Trump dares Nazi Pelosi to try to impeach him again. I dare you, Nancy. All passengers on Epstein flight logs to be named. Other news now, Epstein's rich and famous pals panicking. Yeah, somehow I doubt it. You want me to make a prediction as to what's going to happen? How come we're not draining that swamp, Mr. President? U.S. Marshals find 35 missing Ohio children as part of Operation Safety Net. Right on. And Delaware police seize enough fentanyl to kill 75% of state's population. Holy shit. One more in the general bin. Mental health experts warn about dangers of doom scrolling. It's like that article was written directly for me. Yes, I advise everybody if this stuff gets to be too much. If you find yourself sitting here at 3 o'clock in the morning biting your lip, watch it headlines. Take a step back. I know I'm a hypocrite. I need to do more of it myself. Anyway, over to financial news. How major U.S. stock indexes fared on Friday. Let's see. The Dow Jones gained 358.52 for the week. The Dow slid 483. Dow up and down. Not really much going on there. 90% of NYC's restaurants and bars could not pay August rent in full. I'm telling you, wait till the dominoes are going to start falling, people. You're going to see collapse all over the United States and around the world. Landlords sue Seattle over COVID-19 eviction rules. Yeah, how the landlord's supposed to pay mortgages on their properties? They're not collecting rent. Landlords suing to push back against eviction ban. I got another one here. This one out of Memphis, but this one talks about it's happening all over the country and probably all over the world. Nearly 9 million Americans in danger of missing out on $1,200 stimulus check. Have you gotten your money? If not, you might want to read this article from Vox Business. Tens of thousands of British expats in Europe will be stripped of their UK bank accounts and credit cards in weeks after government failed to negotiate post-Brexit rules. Be advised, my friends across the sea. Is Bloomberg trying to buy the Florida vote? Billionaire pays off more than $20 million in debt for 31,000 felons so they can vote. How nice of him. Seattle is paying former pimp $150,000 a year to find alternatives to policing. Yeah, good luck with that. Let me know how that turns out up there. Kroger sued for firing employees who refused to wear LGBTQ SDL rainbow emblem on uniform. Put a link to that. All these letters, I don't know what the hell mean. The Guardian, one more in the financial bin. Trump cuts aid for pro-democracy groups, Hong Kong, Iran, and somewhere else. I'll put a link to that. Over to New World Order and Police State News. This is where I stop and ask you to share the video. A lot of important stuff going on in this category. Outrageous and offensive. Of course, we got the Kentucky grand jury brings no charges over Breonna Taylor's death. I think one officer was charged with endangerment for someone in another apartment. Had nothing to do with Breonna Taylor, but bullets went through walls and stuff. I'll put a link to that. And out of that, we got protests. Louisville declares state of emergency as city braces for Breonna Taylor. That was the day before the decision came out. They were ready. Protester threatening Louisville police. Get ready to effing die. That from Breitbart. And soon enough after that, 2 officers shot in Louisville. I'm pretty sure they're both still alive. One in custody. People are protesting all over the country once again. Out in Seattle, did you see this cop that ran over this guy's head with his bike? Completely unnecessary. I understand it's frustrating, but that I'll put a link to that video. That was just very uncalled for. Australia's coronavirus lockdown strategy worked. What? Could this be the model for the U.S.? Yeah, well, let's talk about the police state in Australia. People being yanked out of cars and yanked out of crowds. And, well, my people in Australia, you know what's going on. I'll put a link to that. Could it be the model for the United States? You think UK unveils harsh $13,000. Now, how's somebody supposed to pay a $13,000 fine when nobody's working for breaking quarantine rules amid second wave? I'll put a link to this from Zero Hedge. China has built 380 internment camps. Study finds. When did this come out? This came out on September 23rd, so this is something new, but not new. 4th grader virtual learner gets suspended for having BB gun in his bedroom. Can you imagine? I'll put a link to that. They're ridiculous. In his own home, he has a BB gun in his bedroom. He gets suspended. Many parents are hesitant to give their kids COVID-19 vaccine. What if schools require it? Indeed, that's how they're going to force this. They're not going to say, well, you have to show up and get this vaccine. You'll just have to do it if you want to go to school, if you want to work, if you want to have a bank account, if you want to have a driver's license. You're going to have to have the inoculation. UK to penalize schools which don't teach children LGBTQ or LST. I'll put a link to that. Breitbart. And Arlington mom shopping for Halloween, shocked to find Confederate soldiers costume at party store. Oh, how dare you! Give me a break, Karen. This stuff is getting ridiculous. It's a freaking Halloween costume, people. Anyway, over to World War III news. 5,000 miles apart, U.S. Army troops practice seizing islands and rocketing Chinese ships. This from Forbes. Meanwhile, the Chinese military releases war simulation video of attack on U.S. Guam base. That from Zero Hedge. That on 9/21. From the Daily Beast, we got Russian media is rooting for civil war in America. The worse, the better. Yeah, I'm sure the whole world has probably got a stake in that. Russia's season of war games unites West-weary allies. Put a link to that, September 24th from Yahoo News. Saudi cabinet calls for confronting Iran's destabilizing behavior. I got another one on Iran. The United States imposes sweeping new sanctions on the Islamic Republic of Iran. That's September 21. Kim Jong-un apologizes for killing South Korean official. Apparently somebody from South Korea got killed along the borderline, something like that. He's apologizing. I doubt that, but I'll put a link to that. The Drive puts this out. Yes, the United States did draw up a plan to drop 80 nuclear weapons on North Korea. This come out September 18. A lot of talk about North Korea again. Space Force deploys first squadron outside the United States. Wonder what they're up to. And one tweet from my buddy F-Town says, Pompeo threatens to light the fuse on the Persian Gulf, says the Asia Times. Follow Endgame WW3 on Twitter. The man will give you the World War III scoop before anyone else. Over to Earth changes in 2012 news. I got it set up for 6 and above for the past week. Only had a 6.2 in South Africa. I'll put a link to this, the earthquake data, if you want to go over that stuff. Didn't see too much on quakes this week. Had a major eruption at Sangay Volcano, Ecuador. Put a link to this, September 20 from the Watchers. Big ash cloud. California to ban sales of gas-powered cars starting in 2035. Well, that's quite a ways off, but I'll put a link to this from the Wall Street Journal. We got happening now, Climate Change Week. Prince Charles suggested swift and immediate action. A Marshall-like plan, Marshall-style campaign across the globe to combat climate change. Climate Change 2.0, 5.0, whatever. BBC News. Hundreds of whales stranded off the coast of Tasmania. Put a link to that. That's heartbreaking. I hate to see stuff like that. Air Force 2, however, carrying VP Vince forced to land in New Hampshire because of a bird collision. Look out! Space Station crew ISS preps for space debris avoidance maneuver. This has already happened. This came out September 22nd. Look out, space debris. NASA video, mysterious space orb following ISS sends UFO enthusiasts wild. Crazy video there. What are these orbs? Asteroid 2020 SW just flew by the Earth at 0.07 LD. Did anyone hear about this? A little bitty one, but hey, it almost hit us. Mysterious object entering Earth's orbit to become planet's mini-moon until May? What? 2020 SO is what we're talking about there. Daily Star's got that. And the asteroid that's supposed to swing by at the beginning of November, listen to what this lady's saying.
Astronomers are keeping an eye on an asteroid some believe could pass within 300 miles of Earth around November 2nd, 2020.
Not that far away.
Couple of things to keep in mind here. A jet propulsion lab in California is watching 2018 VP1, the name of the asteroid, and on a scale of 0 being duck and cover to 9 being incredibly uncertain, they rate this asteroid a 7. Another thing, it's about 6 miles across. Now, an asteroid that entered Earth's atmosphere.
6 miles across. It's supposed to, the description says 6 feet. But if it's 6 miles and it's only 300 miles away, we're doomed. So did she just misspeak, or are they trying to cover something up? I don't know. I'll let you decide on that, or we'll see very shortly. And one more, major Area 51 claim, giant alien robot is being built. Oh my God! Now, if I remember my Armageddon properly, wasn't it a 6 mile wide asteroid that took out the dinosaurs? We'll see what happens. Maybe it's just misspoke. Over to strange and bizarre news. Got some strange stuff this week. Massachusetts man dies from eating bags of black licorice. I didn't know you could do such a thing. Oregon State freshman tests positive and negative for COVID-19 on the same day. How is it even possible? Split personality or all bullshit? Nazi Piglosi had a meltdown this week. She has one every week, but this is so funny when it happens.
10 states.
I don't believe this video's edited.
Friday,
you tell me.
I started there early for voting the day that we lost Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
But to be clear, you're not taking any arrows out of your quiver. You're not ruling anything out.
Good morning. Sunday morning.
Right in the middle of the interview. Good morning, Sunday morning. Woman with stolen SUV and CVS item has standoff with police, but she won't surrender until she finishes her wine. I'm going to jail drunk. U-Haul seen distributing shields and potential weapons in Louisville. I wonder who paid for all that. Probably George Soros. Put a link to that. Meanwhile, Omaha bar owner charged for killing rider who attacked him in his business committed suicide. Sad story. Some of you are following that. 3 dead after gunman wearing T-shirt with BLM slogan goes on totally random shooting spree in Kentucky. That from RT. I got another one from Twitter. Check it out. It is white privilege to want to drive home. Check this out.
That's white privilege, Karen.
You can't drive home, Karen.
What sense does that make, Karen?
I'll put a link to these Karen videos or something else, man. U.S. mail found in ditch in rural Wisconsin included absentee ballots. Not the first time we've seen this crap. We're going to see a lot more of it. The Battle of Waterloo Roll. Hundreds join mad dash for toilet tissue and other essentials panic buyers. Boris Johnson is creating a panic, saying there's going to be another lockdown. Meanwhile, a building in China that was testing 4G and 5G antennas went up in smoke. I wonder what's up with that. They microwaved themselves to death. And one more, condom recycling operation raided in Vietnam. I never knew there was such a thing. For all other news, please check my favorite videos. I got a lot of stuff over here. You got to check this stuff out. CNN fake news. The crowd right in front of the Supreme Court. They drowned out the internet. They just totally kill it. Joe Biden says he's got 180 years. He was elected to the Senate 180 years ago. NYPD officer charged for spying in China. There's all kinds of. You got to just check out the titles. Frankie McDonald's got one over there. Thank you to everybody who continues to put out content. I mean, you guys are doing awesome work. And I got one shout out this week. Shout out to my friend from GLP, Astronomy Live. He was able to track 2020 SW Close Approach 924. Let me just show you a little bit of clip from this video. I'll put a link to the video. You want to check it out. Look at this. The way he was so precisely able to track this going across the sky. Very impressive. I appreciate your work, man. I'll put a link to this video. That's all I got for this week, guys. If you like the report, please give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If you think it sucked, it's the worst of YouTube. You never want to see again. Please rate, though. It helps me move around. You can also follow me on BitChute, Gab, Facebook, Twitter. All my links are always at the bottom. You can follow me on Patreon. If you want to support me or follow me over there for free, I will never charge for my work, but this channel is 100% demonetized by YouTube. You can support me directly with PayPal. I definitely appreciate anything I get. You guys that support me every week, you keep my coffee maker full. I definitely appreciate you. That's all I got. Tell me what you think is coming. October, right around the corner. October surprise, nuclear weapons, World War III, asteroid doom, power grid failure, riots. Election fraud. We got a lot on the table, do we not? Thank you guys for hanging out with me for a few minutes. You guys take care, stay safe, have a good week, remain vigilant, be ready for anything at any time. I will see you on the next one.